my my son Knobs, he did such a phenomenal job of getting us back up and running.
Andy on
and so I think, and John Ritz here. All right, so I got it shared to the groups. Now
Cheers, John.
Share to the page. Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Okay, posts. All right. KBF. BF. That's just all I'm going to put. Post. All right, so we did it to the page. Now let's go back to the groups. So I'll share to the messenger. It's all, I mean, I could share it to pretty much everybody because so what's happening now, Super Nash, as we can talk, which is amazing. I think I just sensed, nope, that's you. All right. All right. I gotta give Stacy, James. I don't have to send it. Okay. Tim, Michael Efferton, Patrick. I'm just sharing to a bunch of people. Dario, James, my mom, Rachel, Walker, Macaulay, Brian, Jade. I don't have to share it to you tonight, Mr. Super Nash.
Oh, come on. I like to have it shared with me.
I don't know who's all coming in tonight. I sent invitations to everybody. All right, let's share it to there was someone else I wanted to share it to. I forget. And let's keep the comments actually positive, John.
I think everyone he's made has been positively hilarious.
All right, so all that we've shared to that. Now I'll go back to YouTube. All right, we're back on YouTube. Oh, what the heck? Why do I keep doing that? Okay. Have you ever vaporized alcohol in a bottle? No, I have not vaporized. I don't even know what I look like tonight. It's been such a whirlwind. All right. I was hoping, if I didn't give anybody anything, any idea or clue, let's see what happens. Kentucky Bourbon Festival. All right. Ready to go there. Ready to go there. I got sound everywhere. You're flashing.
A little better.
They're not. I got that one and that one. And then that one. Oh, I'm probably turning this one off. Where should I put that? I don't know why I'm having problems tonight. All right. I don't even have a pour. And then I don't even have a glass. I'm going to have to pull from the original.
You're just all kerbobbled tonight.
Yeah, when that thing went down, it really sent me for a loop here. It did. All right. Screw it. Let's just get... This is like different times call for different glasses. Remember where this glass came from? Now I got to get... Let's clear... It's like everything's in the way. My set's all messed up.
I do not. I can't read it. Oh, yes.
There we go.
The Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
That was the bourbon festival that was virtual. The virtual
Bourbon Festival. Oh, here comes our El Presidente.
El Presidente. Oh.
Hey, gentlemen.
Hey,
Hello.
Brad, what's happening?
Literally just ran in the door from freaking Double Kate up.
She okay?
Yeah, I just got back from San Francisco and we had to have dinner, so I've been hauling to get here.
Okay.
Bending a few speed limits.
Well,
She had a good time in San Francisco.
Loved it.
oh,
First time.
Go ahead.
I was there this time last year. I was in San Francisco just for a day. We were on that cruise, the West Coast cruise, and then down to Ensenada, Mexico. But I spent the whole day going all over San Francisco. That's why I rode in the Waymo car. That was cool.
Yeah, I mean they rented a car and they went up into the Sequoia National Forest or whatever, and took the boat out to Alcatraz and went to Haight-Ashbury and Grateful Dead. She's a Deadhead, so she went and did the Grateful Dead thing and saw a bunch of drug addicts laying in the streets.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that. Yeah.
Oh, so she did the HR thing.
In a roundabout way. Yeah. Boy, that light is bright.
Yeah.
Man, that's the mildest setting on this light.
That's what I had to reach up there and do is tone my lights down just a little bit.
Oh, I was getting ready, and my son Seth, who's Knobs on the podcast, he had set me up so that my recordings are all now 1080, 4K capable, and then will look really good on YouTube and whatnot. And he got me all set up, and like I came down, everything was going good. I hit a button, and the whole thing exploded. And so I've spent 15-20 minutes screen sharing. He's like, "You got a Mac?" He goes, "Screen share it, the whole Mac screen, and I'll tell you what to do." And we got it all set back up, and that was. But then I was really behind. But as you came in, we had just gone. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're recording on video, getting ready to start this thing in about, right at 8:30.
Sounds good.
What are you sipping on the new Riff?
Yeah, I've got the single barrel. That was actually a Chris's pick from Kroger. Don't tell our friends at Evergreen, because the other two I got from Evergreen. And then I've got a bottled in bond somewhere here. That's this. And I had a 6-year somewhere. I don't remember where that went.
I have our pick from 2022 when I went with you guys.
Yeah. That was the first year I left there and went right up north to the fishing trip. Yeah, there's my 6-year.
I think we ate at that afterwards. We ate at that Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, and I regretted that on the way to Minnesota.
I would imagine. I regretted it on the way back to Ohio.
Yeah. No, but that was a fun one, and that was the first time that I ever met Crayola.
Okay.
What a force Crayola Dickinson is.
Yes. So this is that pick for KBF. I did another one with CT, and it was Stacy and also Steve, and
Yep.
Kumsi, and we did that one, and that one turned out so well. I think I got it home and I decanted it and drank it in a week.
Yeah, that first barrel pick you talked about, our KBF 2022, that was gone. I mean, immediately. Other than our archive,
Well, I could
box that we kept, but yeah, I drank that one quick. But you'll notice I'm enjoying it in the Scotchy Bourbon Boys Crystal Blend.
There you go.
All right.
I only had to wait 4 years for it.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the KBF Crystal.
Dude, I've got you. But I think it was funny. They're like, no, I swear I gave you that glass. I'm like, dude, I've never seen that glass. So we fixed that. I think that you give it to me at the Packers game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
For the Reds Cubs game.
Yeah.
I was thinking you gave it to him after the Bourbon on the Banks Festival.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, maybe when I gave you the Cathedral.
Yeah.
And
when you gave him the Cathedral.
And you cried all over my shoulder.
Yeah, I still am crying. That bottle is an amazing bottle. And then we opened
I got pictures of that too.
Blubbering like a little baby.
Yeah, he was.
Hey, you do fine things. You're a wonderful human being.
Despite what other people may say or think.
Oh. But
yeah, I'm modeling. I'm wearing my first.
Look at that.
I mean, looks awesome.
Yes, yeah. It does. El Presidente.
Yeah, number one too. That is awesome.
Thanks to whiskey.
Yep.
That is that's an honor that you're wearing that. I mean, my
sure is.
Wow. And it's a Packer colors, so you got the whole thing going right there.
Yeah. He noted that right off the bat. He's like, I believe I got the colors right. I'm like, well, you can either go green and gold or red and blue for the Cubbies. That'd be fine either way.
Yeah, and you did it. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I like that. That's for sure. Oh, so it was just what was.
I was just talking with him yesterday. Me and him were conference calling yesterday morning.
Strategizing to get your VIPs.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for that.
No, thank you.
I mean, that was I mean, it's awesome. I mean, we'll talk about that as coming up, but I mean, the fact that we've gone from where we were from this, and we were, you know, I mean, I never missed a festival that you have run, from virtual when Super Nash walked away with the Harlan Wheatley.
Harlan Wheatley, yeah. Signed Blanton's, yeah.
Signed Blanton's I just remember sitting there and I called him up. I'm like, you won. And he's like, what? I'm cutting my grass.
Had we even met yet in person? I don't think so.
Oh yeah.
Because
we came.
The first time was when you were out at the farmhouse, and it was in the fall.
Yeah, which was it was when the festival got canceled. And me and you had been talking, and Super Nash, me, Roxy, and Xavier came down and stayed at the house anyways, because we weren't canceling the time. We did we just went there and did a bunch of podcasts, and you came out to the farm, and then we did a podcast right there, and that's when you gave I believe Nash we came up with El Presidente, right?
I gifted you a Weller Foolproof,
right?
And that's when you gave me my nickname, my podcast name,
Super Nash. Yeah,
and it stuck. Yeah.
Do you do the thing with the drums anymore? I never see you do that.
Oh, it's your counterpart thought that a barrel bashing was negative. So we turned it into the barrel bottle breakdown. And the reason why is we basically same system, but I use a bung hammer from that Macaulay got me at Wilderness Trail, and then we knock on a barrel. So instead of
I never saw it bad.
What?
It's just the thought of bashing something as it being
I like
sort of.
We handed the drum around and we rated how many stars. I mean, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. Now we just roll the barrel around.
Barrel knocks.
And when I have my son on, his nickname is Knobs because he loves Knob Creek, but he has a tiny gong. He actually rings a little gong. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But technically, he has helped us out a lot more. So we've got a little bit better everything going. That's for sure. All right. Well, let's get this road show started.
Yeah.
You know the drill. It'll be a brief time period to run the promo, and then you'll hear the audio. You'll hear the theme song by Kenny Fuller, and we're ready to go. Middle West Spirits was founded in 2008, focusing on elevating the distinct flavors of the Ohio River Valley. Their spirits honor their roots and reflect their originality as makers, their integrity as producers, and their passion for crafting spirits from grain to glass. Their Michelin Reserve line reflects their story from the start to the bottle to your glass, with unique wheated and rye bourbons and also rye and wheat whiskeys. The Michelin brand is easy to sip. It might be a grain to glass experience, but I like to think of it as uncut and unfiltered from their family to yours.
Drinking bourbon, sipping on some scotch. We get a little wild, but it's sure fun to watch. We love what we do, we're drinking every brew. Man, we talk some shit, but we're telling the truth. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, raising some hell and making some noise. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We're here to have fun and we hope you enjoy. We're here to have fun.
Woo! Yeah! All right. All right. Welcome back to another podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Tiny's in the house. Super Nash is in the house, and El Presidente is in the house. Woo, woo,
Raise the roof.
Randy Prasse, El Presidente of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys and Kentucky Bourbon Festival president. Welcome back to the show for the 14th time. Woo!
Welcome, Randy.
Did we know that?
We know it. We know
Yes,
it.
we do.
Well, I might have skipped. I might have skipped over 13 because it's just bad luck. But I do that for everybody, and I say everybody because it's nobody. You're the first.
You're the first.
On Saturday Night Live, once you host 5 times, there's a club and you get like a jacket.
Yeah.
So with my 14th, I've got the official.
Oh yes. So the only.
Awesome.
So I guess and this the jerseys are definitely courtesy of Whiskey. Whiskey does a great. He's a little less involved lately, but he is part of us. There's no doubt.
I asked him why last week, and he told me why.
Okay, and so
he doesn't like you.
Well, of course he doesn't.
No,
he's the only guy that gives me more shit than you do.
I'm totally
That's the
joking.
same thing he told me yesterday while we were talking. I
It's
asked
like
him if he wasn't on.
As soon as Jeffrey's not involved, he'd be more involved, is what he told me.
Yeah, he told me, he says, it's not you, Super Nash. It's the other guy.
Yeah, okay, so he'd be more involved in nothing. I'm the guy that does.
So we're not doing the barrel bashing. We're doing tiny bashing. That's the new tradition.
There you go. So that's. You have to run that by Stacy, our whiskey godmother. She need that has to go by.
I think she'll be on board for that.
I'm sure she will be.
No, it's good. It's great to see you. It's always good to, and every time, and Jeffrey, tell me if I'm lying. Every time when we're like pre-gaming, prepping, talking, I'm like, I got to be off this thing in half an hour or whatever. And it's like, it'll be 10 o'clock at night, hour and a half later. I'm like, damn it, I did again. So,
but last time I'm like, well, we can wrap it up because you got to go and you could go, and you're just like, no, I'm fine. I even gave you.
You're throwing that out now, right?
I threw the out. Yeah, I'll do it again. I mean, I know you're busy, but I will. We just got to give you a hand. I'm giving you a hand because to watch what's happened with the festival. Not just the festival itself, as far as how much you've grown the festival, the people that are there, the experiences there, how the experiences are set up, the involvement with the festival, with the community, but just in ticket sales alone, it's just kind of like, I remember after the virtual one, the first festival, you've sold out all the festivals as far as tickets. Now the first one, after COVID, you had lower tickets. There wasn't as many tickets because of the fact that COVID was kind of still ramping up, whatever. But then once we got going,
and that was the first year of the new model, let's call it. Some hate it, some continue to hate it, and really it started because of COVID. Because if you remember, if you went to a big box retailer, a Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever, they had a employee on a walkie-talkie on the in and one on the exit, and two people would leave and the other person would let two people in. And that's really what we're gearing up to have to do, with social distancing. And they're going to start letting us gather again as a public. We don't want to goof this up. So there was square footages we had to be mindful of. But that's really how the whole fence around the KBF started originally, was just to manage where people were going to be able to come in and out. So,
and
but please continue, because it has been a fun run. It's been
but it took you. I mean, the tickets have always gone on sale in April, now the VIP is a whole different animal. We've talked about how special it is and everything, but as far as the general admission, it's kind of like the difference between if you have a general admission ticket, you have an experience unlike any, and you can run into everybody you run into the VIP tent and everything. It's the VIP is different. There's some amenities that you have of comfort, but other than that, the experience of the quality of the whiskey, the people that you're seeing, and the events that you can go to are all very similar to what if you have that experience. And what I find is
that's by design, right? That's by design. We focus on the general admission experience first. And we've always done that. VIP is an upgrade from GA because everybody co-mingles. We want VIPs out on the lawn interacting with all the distilleries. And there are people that one year will get VIP and the next year they didn't. And the next year, if that, maybe they are. So the quality of our audience that we have there, it's a blend. Everybody really technically could be and wants to be a VIP, but when they come for the GA experience, they have the same experience as the VIP, just minus the air conditioned tent and the catering, that kind of thing. But actually, once you're at the festival, by design, everybody should have the same, hopefully high quality experience.
Right.
Absolutely. And it's been showing too.
And the amount of tasting there and everything. But what I'll say is it used to take you to sell out the whole festival from that 2021 festival all the way up till last year, you would sell out every year a little bit, but August, late August was at first, then it was early August, and I think it was early August 2 years ago was when, but then last year I sensed that change within the whiskey community and people finding out what that festival had evolved to, what the distilleries, how they take it, the seriousness, what the experience can be. And last year you sold out in 3 days, and I had that feeling. And then I had this year, I definitely had that feeling again, but I felt that you could sell out in 2 days. And in reality, you pretty much sold out in 1 day, because that's when the tickets went on sale today, and you've sold all the tickets. And to sell out like
28 hours, just 24 hours, 11 to 11, and then add 4 more hours, because by about 3:00 this afternoon on Tuesday the 14th is when we sold the last general admission ticket. Now there are still a few of the Sunday 1-day tickets, which a lot of people we still sell 800, 900 of those. So there are people that just either are locals and just want to come up and have a nice afternoon in the park. And Sunday by far is the most chill part of the weekend. You can come up there and have the distilleries like it because it's a nice way to kind of ride off into the sunset for another year. So I don't want to false advertise and say that we're completely sold, but all of the 3-day packages are gone, and there's a few hundred of the Sunday sampler tickets, we call it,
which are going to go.
Well, I hope so. I'll tell you a little bit. I'll peel the curtain back a little bit. So 2021 was a different year. That was the first year that we came out. So 2022 was really the first year, and we were using Tixar like we are now, and we sold out in 2022 partly because we had to set a date that pencils down, test is over. This is the date, August 8th or whatever it was, when we had to do the fulfillment. We had to send all the wristbands out to people. So while we really did sell out, we could have kept selling, but we said today's the day we sold out and we're done. And we just kind of kept those same numbers every year since because it felt right. 2022 was a good year as far as gauging the number of people that were at the festival. And with 22 through this year, we've been on like a 50 ticket variance. So we're not doing overselling and underselling. We're like right in that 50 ticket range, every year. That's about how much we adjust the number of tickets we sell. So contrary to what people sometimes say on social media, we aren't overselling. We're not cramming more people into the park. It's just the distilleries have gotten bigger. 20 by 20 tent. Now they're doing a 30 by 30 tent, and that eats up square footage and makes the aisles a little narrower and tighter. And it feels like there's more people than obviously with the bottle sales and the lines. But I can guarantee you that within 50 tickets, the last 4 years have all been basically the same number of tickets being sold.
Well, I will say
you touched on that right there.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to mention is that the distilleries have really upped their game in providing an experience for all the festival goers. I mean, as far as their tents and their venues that each one of them are bringing now, and they have really stepped it up to where, you're getting an experience like no other. Like it used to be the first couple of years, they were being able to sell bottles and stuff like that, but now they're selling bottles and stuff like that. So they realize that, and they're making each one of their individual venues so high tech and ready to go, and the offerings that's making everybody really want to get there. And
thank you for noticing. And we've encouraged the distilleries to invest in the decor. And by design, overall, kind of the theme of this festival from a visual is pretty much everybody has a white tent that we provide. And then from that point, they can do whatever they want with the decor. And that was because we've got this beautiful old 200 plus year old venue. In fact, this year's 200th anniversary of Spalding Hall, where the Oscar Getz Museum is. But we wanted the focus to be on what's going on inside the tent. and not the tent. We wanted the distilleries to have that freedom to create and represent their brand, but from an outsider looking in, we wanted that stunning white visual against the trees and everything, and hopefully blue skies. And they started doing games and things to engage and hold the crowd, and that was something we've been encouraging them. I mean, Angel's Envy, I think, probably was the first one to get on board with that, and they started doing like the ring toss and giveaways and things that just kind of entertain people and keep them engaged a little bit longer than if it was just a tasting event where you're just going boom, boom, boom down the line. They're actually holding, and entertaining them but still representing their brand through the activity that they're doing. So
like Green River's got the slide too, the little coin slide.
Right.
So the one thing I want to say though is that when the festival a lot of people don't realize, but the Bourbon and Beyond, when they came back in I believe they were out in 21 and 22, but they came back in 23 and they were on the same weekend. And when that happened, what happened is I noticed the last 2 years and now this year, it'll be 3 now. It's not on the same weekend. And so what you've got a weekend of there.
Elvis is in the room.
Oh, right.
Awesome.
How you doing?
The world is watching you.
What's up?
That's right. What's up?
So the thing is that you were splitting. Some people were splitting the time. They get best tickets to both, and some on a Saturday, they come on a Friday, be on Saturday, come back Sunday or whatever. So now that you're on your own weekend, you basically have the whole festival attending all 3 days. And I really think that was part.
I just want to clarify, we've always been on our weekend.
Yes.
And Bourbon and Beyond ended up landing on our weekend a couple of times, but we've worked with them to find out what their schedule is going to be so we don't fall on the same weekend. And we're, the third weekend of September is where we traditionally had always been. And now we move it around a little bit, but they're a lot bigger event and they have 2 weekends involved because they also have then Louder Than Life. And so they set up their main venue and they have to let it set up for two whole weekends. So we're a little smaller and a little bit more nimble so we can move around. And that's just kind of the way we've worked with them is to, as long as we're in September, National Bourbon Heritage Month, and, but otherwise it works. But I mean, there was some confusion on that because there were people that still didn't know what the Kentucky Bourbon Festival was. So they're Googling bourbon events, Louisville, whatever. And they were buying tickets to us thinking they were going to go see the Red Hot Chili Peppers or Luke Bryan or whatever. And or they'd show up at our festival and I think we got on the wrong bus, and vice versa. We had people bought tickets for us and ended up at the fairgrounds for Bourbon and Beyond. And so, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why we need to make sure we're on separate weekends. But
and I thank you.
We've defined ourselves now to where people know who we are. They know who Bourbon and Beyond is. So
I thank you for putting it on the weekend after Memorial Day weekend the last 2 years because I come in and now I don't have to use as many vacation days because that Monday is a vacation day.
Labor Day. Yeah.
Yep. There you go. Labor Day. Yep. That weekend.
And your birthday is what? September 8th or
21st. It used to be right like when you moved it up the third, it was coming and I'm like, oh my God, the Saturday of my 60th birthday is going to be at Kentucky, and you're like, I moved it. We still had a fun. Then it didn't.
I still gave you that barrel head behind you there for your birthday present.
By the way, I'll update it anytime. You know that. It's like,
Nice hint.
Yeah, there you go. Anytime. It's like it's all.
No, that's a good one because it's relevant this year with America's 250. The patriotism that I've always been trying to integrate into the marketing. This year is our 35th year, so we've got a lot of really cool graphics. We got an eagle with a Glencairn swooping in as one of the graphics. It's actually pretty cool. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that one's the 2024, and then I also had the 30th one up for a while. Yeah. So it's definitely always going to be up there. It's just which one.
Well. Thank you. You guys, and Tiny, you know this. You were there before me. I mean, you've been at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival longer than I have, and we consulted early on about what media row, what we could do. And we've changed it so many different times, trying to accommodate podcasters and content creators. And it's morphed a few times, but I'll never forget the first year was a row of 10 by 40 tent with 4 individual little interview booths. And you were kind of feeding off the old main stage when it's still on the lawn. People would come off of the programs with Steve Coombs, and they kind of work media row, and you'd always be able to snag them and have conversations with them. So, but thank you for that. You've always been valuable behind the scenes. Also, just helping us create a situation that is a good environment for you all.
Well, it's the one. It's as long as you're there, it's the one festival I'm not missing. I mean, there's other ones.
That makes 2 of us.
I mean, there's other ones that we've gone to, and but there's years that it might not work out. But I mean, as soon as the farmhouse, as you referred to it, as soon as we leave that farmhouse, we know you have the next year's dates already set, and we already have it booked for that full week before and during.
And thank you. Well, and you're going to be stuck with me at least through 2030 because I have a 5-year contract with the board to remain on as.
I'll try not to die.
Congratulations, brother.
I'll try not to die.
Well, and I mean, I told them, I said, yeah, and you know my history. I don't need to go into the resume, but I mean, I've run a lot of different events, bigger and smaller. And I said, look, I don't want to go anywhere. There's so much more opportunities still to come. I'm still challenged. I'm not getting bored. I'm not feeling burned out. I want to be here. I want this to be my last job, if you even want to call it that. Mm-hmm. And so the board came back and said, well, let's make that happen. I'll be 62, I think, at the end of 2030. So, but yeah, I don't want to go anywhere. You guys are friends and family, and everybody watching and listening for the most part are people that I know and friends and interact with all year round. And it's a rare dynamic what I've got here from a career perspective. Forget the phenomena of the tickets going on sale and everything, because the tickets selling out is a testament to a lot of things. Early on, sure, it was my vision, but I built a team. I've got support from friends like you. I've got the distilleries who always know that as long as I'm here, they're going to be number one. And the fans, the people who buy the tickets, know that all those other things align and they're going to have a great experience. So it works, and that's why it works. It's not one person. It's a whole set of things lining up correctly. And any one of those components moves or changes a little bit, it'll be seen and felt with the festival. So we do, Stacy and I work year round, the whole team, Steve Coombs, we all work very closely year round with the distilleries to make sure that we're listening to them, that we're giving them the experience that they want and need, and we're putting in front of them the people that they need to have, engaged in sips to lips. And in turn, the fans that come to the festival know that the distilleries are all bringing their A game. And it just works. It's one of those rare self-fulfilling positive things versus a self-fulfilling negative that sometimes snowballs the other way. This just snowballs the right direction. So cheers to you guys. And once again, the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, Glenn Karen.
Yeah.
And New Riff, we haven't mentioned New Riff, but I've got a couple of my New Riff. New Riff is the featured distillery this year. And this is the 6th year. We started with Maker's Mark. We went to Jim Beam, then we went to Bardstown Bourbon Company, and then we went to Heaven Hill. Last year we went to Angel's Envy, and this year it is our friends at New Riff. And they get a lot of extra special love during the year. But last week at our distiller dinner at River House, they revealed the official cocktail of the KBF, and we jumped right in it. So New Riff's just they're special to us because they started off the first year as a true craft distillery, a 10 by 10 tent and a folding table and a couple of chairs. And now the way they've grown and stepped up and invested with us, it's just something, it's really fun to see. You expect to see the big brands and the legacy brands be able to figure it out and own it. But really the craft distilleries have stepped up over the last couple of years and owned it. And they want to grow, and they're getting into bigger footprints and really, getting their legs underneath them. So it's fun to see that growth.
Hey, there's what you were just talking about right before New Riff is there's a good friend of ours, and it's Steve Lafonte, And he's got a saying whenever he's doing a barrel pick with groups, and he always says, and the way he does the barrel picks, when the stars align, you know it's the right one. And that's, and you just mentioned when, the stars align, and that just brought that saying that he says all the time to me, and that's it. When the stars align, it's the right one.
Sometimes sayings sometimes that can be cliche, but cliche doesn't necessarily mean that it's not true, and that's, and we went, Andrea and Dan with Michter's gave our little barrel pick team. Every year Stacy coordinates a fun little trip. A couple years ago it was Vendome, and we got a really truly behind the scenes view. Well, this year we went to Michter's and really truly got into where people can't be. It was even no pictures, put your phones away. We're deep diving, and we're sitting there enjoying lunch. And Andrea walked in the room. She goes, "Wow, what a dream team you've got here!" And really, over the years, I've got people that I've worked with, like our ticketing box office guy this year is my mentor that got me into the industry in 1992. And now he's running our ticketing. I've done brew festivals with him. So I've got these people, Stacy on here full time. That's what she does. She interacts with the distilleries. I've got Steve Coombs. I've got SSPR with Tracy and Anna, and they literally were just named last year the top PR firm in the whiskey industry. So that's who represents us. Tracy Williamson, she was the original graphic designer for Bardstown Bourbon Company and that iconic bottle and all the early branding. She's our creative director and our web designer. You just go around the table and it's just, we've got the best people, 2 or 3 people that I took with me when I left Churchill Downs. Our director of security, our director of operations, those are all people that have got 50 years or more experience in the festival industry. So when I look around the table, it really is a dream team that everybody's at the top of their game. And I'd like to, most of them have said that they are with us doing the role because they trust me and they know that I'm serious when it comes to putting together an event. But we have so much fun. Every time Tara Nelson does all of our hospitality, the catering and the bartending, she comes up from Nashville. Gary Braun, our director of ops, comes down from Chicago. It really is. It's a fun couple of days. We work hard, put in long days, but it's definitely a team and a family. So the KBF is Kentucky Bourbon Festival, but in our case, it's really the Kentucky Bourbon family because it's. We would take a bullet for each other. We've always got each other's back, and that helps. There's a lot of trust in this team. Trust because we know that we're all proven. So that doesn't mean one of us doesn't fall, but the other ones are there to pick up. And even if we fight like brothers and sisters behind the scene, man, when you're out public, don't mess with us. Everybody's got everybody's back, and it's so unusual. And I've worked for nonprofits and state boards for 35 years, and this board is an amazing board. Number one, they trust me, and I like to think I earned that trust. But they empower me. They follow. They give me guidance and feedback and what ifs. Let's try this. But at the end of the day, they let us do our thing. And even if somebody wanted, even if I was tempted to go somewhere else, the look in the mirror would be, I've got the best board in the world. And I've worked for some great boards. I've worked for some really bad boards. I've worked for boards of 52 members. I've worked for boards that were completely all appointed government by the governor. And those are train wrecks. So there's so many things. The team that we have, the family, the board that really trusts us and let us do our thing. And then guys like you, and the people that are watching, that just does not come around more than once in a lifetime. So that's never lost on me when I'm working on, and look, the worst day in the world, I think I'm so stressed out and what a tough day, but I grew up on a dairy farm. So I like to say that my worst day is a lot better than a lot of good days that my dad and my grandfather had, before. So it keeps a lot of things in perspective.
Well, as far as a family goes, that's obvious. We come down to whether it's see you in Louisville or come down into Bardstown, and we know everybody in Bardstown. And we know the family, all the people that are working, but also, just the distillery people, like what with Sandy know and what we see, and when we come out, and it's gotten to the point where we feel that coming down there, we're that family atmosphere, and when you're talking about a board, honestly, it's a good board, but you know, Randy, you were hired to do exactly what the festival is here. And I'll even make a Packer analogy. You know, it's like if you remember when Ted Thompson took Wolf's place, and he hired Mike McCarthy, and they had Favre, and the whole Favre retirement and then trade, the whole thing. That's kind of what you came into. The festival had its own stamp of Super Bowl already with the distilleries and the community, but the team was, I mean, there was no you know, Favre made it a lot harder by hitting another, almost getting another Super Bowl that year, but you had to basically take this and change it into what McCarthy had to change it into with Aaron Rodgers. So it was the same. Ted Thompson, you're like Ted Thompson assembling that team to win. And honestly, this year and last year, it's gotten to the point where you're definitely playing with all the top festivals for whiskey and even alcohol in the whole wide world. And it's getting out, like, to sell it out in 2 days, the pre-sale, and then within 4 hours of the rest of the tickets are gone, is like you're a rock star. I mean, I don't think there's any other festival in the world that's, no, your team, you guys are a band in the distillery and everything. The whole thing is just this huge, it's, you guys are basically doing the Bardstown Super Bowl, and no matter what, you guys win.
Well,
and you've done a great job. I mean, I just watched it. Every single idea that you would run by, and I'm in the community of barrel picks and everything, and you guys were like, and I'm just going, well, why don't you do that? And then all of a sudden you're barrel picking, and then all of a sudden, well, the distilleries can sell their own barrel picks, and I'm like, that's an extreme idea. And when they all of a sudden changed the rules, and you guys could have bottles specific, it's just like I knew that everybody, not just in Kentucky or the surrounding areas, but everybody in the whole world is now coming. That's why those tickets sell so fast.
Well, we had all 50 states represented, and in full transparency, that might have meant 2 people from Alaska and 2 people from Hawaii, but we had them all checked, and we had 15 foreign countries that were there. But still, the last 4 years, it's been roughly 85% of the people that come to the festival are from outside of Kentucky, and 15% are from in Kentucky. So as far as an economic driver, the tourism folks obviously understand it. The restaurants and bars, retailers in Bardstown get it. And the people that come to the Bourbon Festival, it's not just descending on us like locusts and then they disappear. They come in the week before and they go on the Bourbon Trail and they hang out with us and go home, or they come in for us and then they stay on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but they come back several times a year. I would bet you, and this is total just a stab in the dark, but I would bet at least a third of the people that buy tickets to the KBF come back several times a year. And they also have their own, bourbon societies and clubs, and they're coming in and, they're coordinating barrel picks, and they're doing the Bourbon Trail, and they're coming into Bardstown and kind of going to Mecca, and hanging out. So, I mean, it's important for the whole region, what we do, the hotels and, heads and beds more than just those 3 or 4 nights, but it's the recurring.
Well, yeah. And what it comes down to is, I mean, locally, people who are local, they have access to all the distilleries 365. You know what I mean? They can go when they want. They know that if they go at this time, there's not going to be a ton of people, and they can really kind of get their own local experience. And then a lot of them work at the distilleries and whatnot. So, but as far as coming into town, just like us, I mean, I come into town probably 10 to 15 times a year. And And there's never a time where the assembly of where I go and what I do, and there's still now times you can go see new stuff. I mean, Potter.
You're kind of an anomaly, and I'm sure you know that, because you are like a kid in a candy store. I mean, every time you're excited, I hear it in your voice. Hell, I can read it in your text messages. I'm going to be down in a couple of weeks, and I can sense how excited you are to be coming in. And I love that. I mean, that energy kind of recharges me as well, watching you remain excited about it. And yeah, it's a cool industry, man. And you know that the camaraderie amongst the enthusiasts, the camaraderie amongst the distilleries, even though they fight for every little quarter inch on the retail shelf, the people that are making the juice love each other, and they share, and they really, so it's just fun. It's unique. There's not another industry or another culture like what we have here in the world. I'm convinced of that.
It's bourbon's the glue. The
It's
people,
surreal to me in 2024. And I belong to almost 300 Facebook bourbon and whiskey Facebook groups.
Jeez.
All across the states and around the world.
That's amazing.
And in 2024, it really became surreal to me as I'm walking across the venue at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and all of a sudden I hear these people, a couple of guys start hollering Super Nash in an Australian accent.
That's awesome.
These guys came up to me, and they were from Australia, and told me how much they started their whiskey group in Australia because of watching the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, and then seeing the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and they said, we've got to get there. And then they came in 2024. It wasn't just about an hour after that. Then I had a couple from Japan that came up to me and knew who we were, and said that watching it on here and finding out about the Kentucky Bourbon Festival is why they came over to the Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
I remember that year, and our photographer grabbed a group shot of like 10 or 15 of them inside the main gate. And I remember that year.
Yeah, there was two of them from that group that recognized who I was and started talking to me for a few minutes about it.
And that's awesome. And unfortunately, the thing goes by so quickly, and I hate it. There's 3 or 4 days and it's gone, and then I got a whole other year. So,
and
I've been trying really hard.
So busy during those 4 or 5 days.
I mean,
I've tried to change that. And I looked in the mirror. I say that I use that analogy a lot. And the first couple of years, I had to own this thing. My name is on it. The expectations were, doesn't matter who actually did it. It's Randy's credit or Randy's fault. But over the last year or two, I've really worked on letting loose and trusting, again, the dream team. And last year I was gone. The Wednesday was the day before we opened. We rent a truck and we rent a trailer, and we had to go pick up the VIP packages that were in downtown Louisville. And I'm looking around. I'm like, right now in this moment during setup, I'm the least important person in this organization. So I grabbed the keys, the truck and the trailer, and I drove. I was gone probably a total of 3 hours, and I came back and everything was still fine. I got maybe one phone call. But even a year or two before that, if I would have gone away for an hour or two like that, I mean, it would have been chaos. But so I can step back. I can trust the team to run the festival. And I've been really working on getting out of the mode that you always see me in with the hat and the combat boots and radio. And I really need to clean up and go out and do a little politicking and talk to people and thank people for coming. And so every year I spend a little bit more time doing that and less time worrying about the overflowing trash.
I did see you out there a lot more last year.
Yeah.
And walking around. And
I'm calmer.
And also too, a couple times you had some other people with you, sort of escorting them and talking about the festival, and not just like problems or anything.
Well, and Jeffrey, I always apologize to Jeffrey because he's my whipping boy, and he knows when I'm in that mode that if he comes up to me at the wrong time, I bite his head off. And he knows I love him, and I always apologize. And it doesn't even affect him anymore. But the first year or two I did that, Roxy came out and said, Jeffrey thinks you're mad at him. Or I'm like, no, he walked in like he's at a 10. And Jeffrey, I need you at about a 5 right now.
Well, yeah. Well, I learned I leave you alone during the festival. We hang out throughout the year. So there's times for hanging out. Although this year I was looking through because we're gonna do I have video and pictures from all the way since throughout. So we're gonna do a Kentucky Bourbon Festival put together. Okay, we're gonna put of all the festivals.
You were talking about the times we get together throughout the year. And
I'm talking about I'm putting that together, but we still don't have one with you with all the Scotchy Bourbon boys. There's not even we don't even take a selfie because usually when we see you, it's always individually, never together. You know what I mean? So this year we just got to
change that.
Yeah.
And we've got our photographer that we pay on with that group. The Bourbon Capital Guild that I'm a member of, they always take a big group shot on KBF weekend. I'm never in that photo.
Yeah.
That's going to change. And I've got a group of people that some of them I've gone to school with since kindergarten, all the way through high school, and some of them into college and after. But it's a big reunion every year. There's probably 8 to 10 to 12 of them that come down. And I do take time to get wrangled in and be a part of that photo.
I've got that.
I want to do that. I want to interact with people more. And last year I took, I think I was wearing a regular polo shirt, not a uniform embroidered or anything. And I stood in line in the Heaven Hill line, just walking along, listening, and nobody recognized me. I'm not a celebrity, but I'm there. I'm listening to people. I want to hear what they're talking about. I want to hear if they're complaining about the lines. I want to hear, and it was all this positive, every few seconds you move up a step or two, and I stood in line with them for about half an hour, and then peeled out. But I wanted just to really kind of blend in and hear what people are saying. And I need to do more of that.
I mean, the one thing you are conscious of the lines, and the lines have to be in a certain place. I think you did a good job with that last year. But the one thing bourbon people know and do is lines. So you don't realize you're throwing a festival that includes what most people that look for bottles love. You actually, the lines are what most now having it go through and get in the way of the booths and all that, but last year where it was in that section where the line and what it was almost perfect because put it this way, if everybody got every bottle that they wanted, bourbon wouldn't be big. It's just like you can't
remember that you just said that, Jeffrey, when you're boo-hooing.
Special.
I was sad. I'm not boo-hooing. I just was telling you that story about the thing because I was good. The guy skipped me.
You made a point that I listened to, and we do listen. We absolutely read the social media. We listen to people. We ask the questions. We do a post-event survey, and then I go through and review every one of them. And the lines, people are used to standing in lines, to your point. Every day you go to Buffalo Trace. Every day you go to Heaven Hill. Every day you go to Beam, the home place. Maker's Mark. There's lines, but there's also at least a higher degree of likelihood that they're going to get a bottle that they're looking for when they're in those lines. That's not always the case at the Bourbon Festival. So we've been working with the 3 or 4 top distilleries that have the lines since actually before last year's festival, but since we've met 2 or 3 times, what is the solution? How can we help you, but how can you be a part of the solution to where our fans that are standing in line can be told they're going to be disappointed, right? What I don't want is someone disappointed and then angry because the person in front of them got the last bottle and they could have been told they weren't going to get a bottle. And then for me and for the other distilleries, that person has been in line for half an hour, 45 minutes, hour, and they're not out communicating and interacting with all the other distilleries. So we're working on how do we communicate? There's 80 bottles. If you aren't in this group, if you're here back, you're probably not going to get that bottle. you're welcome to stay in line and buy the other things or whatever. But otherwise, I'm sorry, but I'd rather have you out. So we're working on that. We're working on how to meet that demand.
Two things that I saw last year that they were addressing that. One was Maker's Mark.
Yep. Maker's Mark did an awesome thing.
Cellar aged. They gave out bungs, the amount of bungs that they had for bottles. All right. Then Heaven Hill saw what was going on. So they actually come out and they knew how many bottles they had. They finally came out and they counted down the line. And it's like, here's the stop off point. And, if you're back behind this, then you're probably not going to be able to get a bottle. And that's what they told them. You're welcome to stay in line for the rest of the bottles that we have. But for this bottle, this is where the cutoff is. And those two distilleries, I know, like I said, tried to address that last year. And I thought it worked out.
And Beam has been really good at all along on this stuff. they understand. And part of the early problems were people that just wanted to sample were co-mingling with people that were there to buy bottles and wait in line for a half hour for a sample. Well, that's kind of disheartening. Like I wasted half my day and all I wanted was a pour. So we started 2-3 years ago, like communicating, this is a sampling line. This is a buying line. And, and Jeffrey, you're right. I mean, we talked about the lines a couple of years ago. I was up in my office on the 3rd floor looking out over the festival grounds, and I saw these lines and I thought, my God, we've ruined my festival. I mean, I wanted this like really cool hangout in the park, walking around sampling, and we've turned it into this like monster. And you can't put the genie back in the bottle. I mean, the bottle sales changed, but that doesn't mean we can't still try to recreate that, kind of a cool vibe and manage those lines to where it doesn't impact the other distilleries or the other guests that are there. But yeah, I kind of gave up on that. I stopped losing sleep over the lines because it is part of the culture. And these, again, when I stood there for half an hour, not one complaint about the lines or anything. It was all like, hey, did you try this? We went here. And it's just as they move up in line, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're there on deck ready to buy. And I got to roll with it too. I can't fight the culture. Sometimes you have to kind of like just get in the river and go along with it and still try to improve the experience, but not fight it.
I mean, the experience. Go ahead, Nash.
That I've done the last 2 years is I specifically, and me and Jeff Tiny talked about this, is that I specifically go out. That's when I'm walking around out there. I actually stop and talk to, grab a couple or a person, that's just got some time to kill. And I'll come up to them and I'll ask them, tell them who I am and all this, and ask them if I can interview them and just ask them about the festival. And I ask them those questions, what they like, where they're from, what they like about the festival, or what they dislike about the festival. And in the last 2 years, I have just a couple maybe negative things about it, but everybody has always been positive in my interviews with them about the things and the way the festival has been going.
Well, and the things that bug me, the biggest thing is that Friday, Saturday, Sunday of the festival, we recognize a problem and we can't fix it for another year. That drives me nuts. So there were things like last year, and for the first time, people were queuing around the block to get in. And I mean, I was walking uptown, to the bank to get our petty cash. And I'm like, why are all these people facing the wrong direction? Then I realized they were going up and wrapped around the block. But there were people out there midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning wanting to be, first in line for like general admission to come in at noon. And then down the street at our VIP gate, there were people showing up at 5 or 6 or 7 o'clock and also waiting for GA. And I realized right then and there that VIP gate is VIP only. But at noon, we were letting people in that were only there for 2 or 3 hours, and other people there like for 12 hours to wait to get in. So we fixed that this year. That VIP gate is going to be VIP only for the first hour or 2 hours. I mean, so from 11 to 1, no general admission. You have to go to the main gate, and we're also creating a second general admission gate. So we'll have one VIP gate to get those people in, and then 2, the main general admission gate. Anybody who's been there will know the structure with the barrels and everything in it. And then down into the craft area, we're going to have a secondary general admission gate just to get people in the gates faster and get them, get their glassware in their hand and get them on enjoying the festival. But it's bugged me that I knew the answer last year on Saturday and I couldn't fix it until this year.
Okay, awesome.
But
I know a lot of people.
We do listen, and we do.
It's gonna be happy about that.
Well, and it's all about fairness, right? I mean, I'm also a consumer. I've been to festivals, I've been to concerts, I've been in places where why does that guy get to do that, and why do I, So I mean, people forget that I'm also, someone who's also a consumer that stands in lines and buys things and has expectations of experiences, and so I always try to factor in how I'd feel if I was that person standing there, queuing around the line, around the block, and only to find out that some guy showed up 3 hours ago, gets to waltz right in and get to the distilleries, in bottles before I do, or at the same time as I do, with less investment of time. So, we're tiny. How many times do our trips to Lambeau Field turn into 2-hour, debriefs on festivals and what we should be doing for helping people get in, or you telling me don't worry about that. That's part of it, right?
Right. Or last time, I don't know, because where we went and we got into that luxury box, we weren't talking much. I wish the Packers would have played better in that game. It wasn't a bad game, but it was just that game, but that was amazing for that one. But and
our host in that suite is joining us this year at the Bourbon Festival.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I make sure to say hi.
Yeah, but no, I mean it's just we never mail it in. Anybody watching this knows that there's no cookie cutter, and I don't do that. We don't change things just for the sake of change. We change things and make improvements, hopefully for the experience. But until you actually test it out, you don't know. You can speculate that it's going to be the thing that fixes it. And Stacy is constantly talking with the distilleries and bouncing ideas, or we sit there one-on-one, like, what if we did this? How about we do that? And then we go to the distilleries and kind of test it and see what their feedback is. But we've also been told that we are by far the most accommodating whiskey event that the distilleries go to. Usually you go and there's the set of rules. Here's your handbook. This is what you can do. You can't do. You set up, you tear down. You can't do this. And we really are partners with our distilleries, and we try to bend over backwards to make sure that they are able to, represent the brand and do that engagement piece that's so important. Because when you come to Bardstown and the bourbon capital of the world, and I'm adamant about this, when you come up to these distilleries, you are literally talking to the people that make it.
There's no mailing it in. They don't mail it.
If you go to any other whiskey event in the country or in the world,
there are some people.
You're not going to have the master distiller, and the executives, the blenders. You're going to have a third party agency wearing the branded shirt and pouring and smiling and giving you and selling bottles, but you're not going to have a Connor O'Driscoll or Brent Elliott or Denny and Jane. You're not going to have them. Freddie, like a couple years ago, Freddie's birthday was during the festival, and he's sitting out in front of the bean tent carving
slicing ham.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get that anywhere else in the world.
Or
giving out shots off the ham.
Right. I did one of those.
The ham luge. Oh my gosh, that was crazy.
I did one of those. I don't know where did I do that.
Oh, we're not even going to talk about that, because that social media had to be erased. You didn't do that.
No. But anyway, I mean, literally, I tell people that have never been. It's like going to Lollapalooza or Coachella, and you just had this backstage pass, or Farm Aid. I was backstage at Farm Aid the first year, and I'm walking around, and oh my God, there's Mellencamp. Oh my God, there's Kenny Aronoff. Oh, that's Neil Young. Oh my God, Willie Nelson's here. And John Fogerty. Holy cow! And that's what it is at the Bourbon Festival. You're walking along, and you got Brent Elliott. You got Fred No. One of my favorite photos that I took with my phone was Fred No and Chris Morris, and they were due on the main stage, and I grabbed them. I'm like, come on, guys, we got to go. And they're just having fun. They probably had a few cocktails in them. And it's just literally the icons of this industry are all there at the festival. And the up-and-comers, I mean, you remember Macaulay before Macaulay was even a thing. Wilderness Trail, he was the guy doing the single barrel stuff. And last year, Dark Arts dominated. I mean, they were the belle of the ball. and they killed it. And so you see people like that coming into their own at the festival.
Are you gonna try and outdo the wedding? Are you gonna have a wedding there this year at Kentucky Bourbon? That's crazy. But
it won't be double O Kate and me.
No, okay. Or you guys aren't going to try and one up Macaulay, huh?
No,
just kidding.
No. We're going to Spain and Italy.
That's awesome.
After the festival to do all of that, but no,
perfect.
But I mean, the cool thing I love in this festival, I've been trying to push this, is the Kentucky Bourbon Festival has kind of become the equivalent of the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas, where the new iPhones come out and the distilleries are bringing out their new brands. They're launching new product. I mean, hell, a couple of years ago, Larrikin was Lawrenceburg at the beginning of the festival, and they put the big yellow kangaroo and they rebranded
right at the festival.
Right.
Changed the signage.
I mean, you can at some festivals get a distiller or some distilleries there, but it's not all. There's a lot. But at Kentucky Bourbon Festival, pretty much everybody who's anybody is there. Now, I just want to, now we've covered all that. So what's new this year? What have you, what fun thing are you, what is, when we walk in, what awe thing that you always do to us? I mean, you know, are there going to be 6 double-decker tents, or what's happening this year as far as, you know, what you got planned for everybody?
Last year was the huge cigar area, actually 2 cigar areas.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're at least minimum bringing that back, Nash. No, we're moving porta potties around. That'll be an immediate wow for you, Jeffrey. No, I mean, no, we're constantly trying to make better use of the space we have. You know, we're landlocked, but what we're wanting to do is, given the change in the industry, and you know, the downturn, the re-leveling, you know, it's being felt. The distilleries are feeling it. Our major sponsors, the architects, the engineering firms, the construction companies, they're all feeling it. I mean, distilleries just aren't.
Cooperages too. The cooperages are filling it big
absolutely. Time. So my vision a couple years ago, and many of you know, I came from Kentucky Derby, Churchill Downs, and they have a lot of corporate hospitality. Derby is all about the AT&Ts, you know, the big corporations buying suites to entertain their big clients at the Kentucky Derby. And the same thing like PGA, Valhalla. So we're looking at the Bourbon Festival as, forget that the sponsor might be part or not part of the industry, but why not AT&T or why not Ford being able to entertain their big clients at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival? So, so we're introducing this year a speakeasy concept where even a GA ticket, you can buy and upgrade, almost like a mini VIP. You can upgrade for the day. You get into a small venue with a dedicated bar and some catering. And then even further, you can rent out little suites. And you two both remember 2 years ago, the double decker with the cigar lounge upstairs?
Yeah.
Picture the cigar lounge on that double decker on the ground. Same size, the 3 little 10 by 10 semi-private suites, but on the ground. That's kind of the concept. But we're hoping to grow that in years, you know, going forward, to where you don't necessarily have to be a company that is directly involved in the industry. You can just be, you could be a bank, insurance company, whatever, and you just want to bring your top clients, or maybe it's an employee appreciation thing. You bring them to the Bourbon Festival. So as we get some more space available behind us there where that construction project's going, I see that really being kind of the new thing that we're going into. Is it won't take away from the experience that the bourbon enthusiasts love. It won't detract from the distilleries and the corporate folks that are in the industry, but it's a little extra value added, and we'll have some fun with some people that are typically not at the festival.
So we rented out one of the Angels Envy cigar booths year before last that year, and actually spent the time with Stephen Fonte. We actually didn't do a podcast, but we did just a live broadcast of all of us sitting around enjoying cigars, enjoying some Angels Envy. But we also, because of a little mix-up, we actually shared that booth with another group because they didn't have enough booth. So we invited them in. Angel, Envy, come up, or the people that were running that top shelf actually asked us if we'd mind if we put a couple more chairs in there, and no, we didn't. So we actually had two groups in the booth and enjoyed that whole venue that year.
Well, and I'm the first one to admit I'm not a cigar guy, but I'm really committed to showcasing and elevating the cigar component into the festival. So that's probably one of the areas that we have struggled the most with. Like, I know I want to do it. I don't know how to do it. I mean, I know how to do it. I just don't know who the players are. And, you know, the deployment cigar guys have been great. They're fun to hang out with. David Webb comes in and does his Friday broadcast. We got a national audience on Sirius XM. But that's probably, if you want to know where I want to go in the future with KBF, I want to figure out a way to really blow up the cigar lounge concept. But it's very polarizing, and you probably know that. Like, some distilleries really embrace cigar and that culture, and some are like, I don't want a cigar within 50 yards of my place. And so and some people like me, health wise, I can't be around any smoke, but I know it's part of the culture. Just I struggled, at Churchill Downs with that too, because cigars and horse racing is just, as much as cigars and bourbon. But that's probably one area that I'm really hoping to grow and have that a destination within the destination, is a first class, world class type cigar and bourbon mingling experience. So
talk with Stephen Fonte could probably even maybe get you like Rocky Patel in there. I mean, they've been over there too, Rocky Patel's, and actually have their own cigars made for limestone.
And see, that's what I need. Like Alec and Bradley. I mean, the guys at Justice House of Bourbon.
Alec and Bradley.
I know enough to know that I don't know. It's like, and I'm not afraid to admit it. But I mean, I don't know if we need to align with a major cigar brand or just wholesaler that represents the top brands. But I can't just do it and not.
Absolutely.
And be able to monetize it. I mean, unfortunately, the reality is we need sponsors and I can't just dedicate a space and have zero money. That hits
no. I mean, I mean,
I don't want to do it half-assed either.
Yeah, it's just like putting together a puzzle. You got to have all the right pieces to fit together.
Well, a couple of years ago, I decided we really needed to go after and showcase the bourbon culture. If people have the money to spend $7,000 on a VIP package with us, and they drop another $20,000-$30,000 on bottles, then they're probably pretty desirable consumers in the real world outside of that. And so, we went out and talked to Oris Watches, and they came in. Took me 2 years to get them in, and then the president of Oris North America has been at the festival the last 2 years, and after this festival, they told me that we were their number one event that they do every year for sales. And they get it. They understand that the bourbon culture means that if you like to spend the money on the bourbon, you probably have a nice vehicle, you probably like other vacations, you probably golf and have really good equipment, and you need a timepiece. So if you look at Longines as the brand of thoroughbred horse racing, and look at Rolex and Tag Heuer in auto racing, I've told them, I said, I want Oris to be associated with the bourbon culture, and they get it. So it's fun to see that. I mean, we're very selective on who we talk to, because we don't want the insurance company and the gutter guards and the bathtub and the kitchen remodelers, because that's what we used to have at the festival. Mm-hmm. And that has nothing to do with the culture. But when we do connect, and the Retro 51 guys, the pen that we're doing this year, you've seen the pens. First year was Canton Cooperage donated the oak for the barrels of the pen. In fact, I've got one right here, conveniently.
Oh wow!
Last year we did one that looked like the column on a column still. Huge success. Mm-hmm. This year we're going all in Americana, obviously, because of America 250. But those pens are $90 to $100 a piece, new MSRP, and there's rabid collectors that those pens go up into the hundreds of dollars. So when you come to the Bourbon Festival and you're one of the bourbon enthusiasts, you get one of these limited edition pens in your swag bags. But again, that's one of those, most people don't go out and just drop $100 on a pen, but KBF attendees, appreciate that quality. So Jeffrey, are you looking for your pen or what?
Yeah, my pen is always right around, and just for all of a sudden, I'm sure it's buried behind a bottle because I went. And so I was just, I have it. I mean, it's always right here. I mean, it's in its
this year's gonna be killer. It's gonna be red, white, and blue, and kind of the old school, almost like a Betsy Ross Americana feel. But I'm really proud of it.
Well, I think also you're going to get a lot of the distilleries with their 250th anniversary bottle for the country. So you get ready to get those bottles when you go there, because I'm pretty sure they're going to have those releases at the festival. There's no doubt. There's going to be what would you say, an American patriot theme to this year's festival. You really get that feeling.
And 2 years ago, I told the team that if we got over $1 million in ticket sales, I'd go get a tattoo, and I did. The logo on the back of my right calf. You've seen it.
Yep.
But this year, I'm feeling. I didn't promise anything, or I didn't commit to doing something, but I'm kind of feeling like our artwork. I'm gonna try to pull it up here real quick on the phone. But this, I don't know how it'll show.
Yep, the eagle.
The eagle with the Glen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, with the Glen, yeah. Oh, wow.
There you go.
That may or may not be committed to ink somewhere on me.
On your chest?
35th anniversary.
Right across your chest?
No.
I'm kidding.
No. Yeah. 35 years of KBF, though. That's very humbling. And we talk about what the festival has been since 2020, but for a moment, I'd like to focus on what it was up to that point, because I've been a volunteer on many, many, many festivals, many struggling festivals, and this festival would not have made it to year 30 without the local community and the commitment of a lot of volunteers and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And some of the pushback and the chaos that was created when I came in was based on that. A lot of people put a lot of their heart into that former model of the festival, and taking nothing away from them, it just wasn't what the distilleries needed it to be going forward. So I made it what they told me they needed it to be, but I never want to take anything away from those great people, because there are still people that are proud to come up and say, I was on that first board of directors, and some say, I love what you've done. Other people are like, not so much. But we're celebrating 35 years because the last 6 years we listened to the distilleries and gave them what they told us it needed to be. So I'm very proud of that. But I'm also very proud of the community that lifted this thing up. And a lot of festivals fail 3, 4, 5 years in. Well, they fail. It might be a great concept, but it failed for any number of reasons. But this thing lived for 29 years because the community.
Because the community and the distillery supported it. The support of the distilleries is what kept it going. And in 2019, when you weren't there and we went, there's a lot of stuff that was happening. I will tell you the highlight of the festival, besides the VIP experience. Okay, I saved up so I could have a day in the VIP, which is in your offices. The Brendiamo, penthouse. That's where the VIP was, and that was great.
And it was the first year, 2021. I kept it up there, if you remember.
Right, but
it was hotter than hell with two window air conditioners, a slow elevator, and a bathroom that was out of commission half the time.
But
welcome to VIP.
But that 2019 festival was the highlights of everything. The gala was off-site. You had to go to the gala. There was a lot of the cigar thing was over and there's still events over off-site, but the main events are still right there. And then the other thing is I'll say the barrel race that happens still to this, right now with the teams, that was the highlight of the festival. Honestly, that was like it was like you were going to the
2019.
barrel racing. It was in 2019. That was a barrel racing sporting event, and then all the distilleries had tents,
which is amazing. Pause on that for a second. The World Championship Bourbon Barrel Relay.
Yep.
It's the only one of its kind. And Jeffrey, you and I both, Wisconsin, the lumberjack competition up in Hayward. I mean, it was that unique. It still is that unique. You get the warehouse workers out there, and it's amazing to watch. They're rolling 500 pound full barrels.
We need to get, just like the logging events, we need to actually turn, that's something we could turn as far as part of the festival into, you get ESPN to cover it.
Jeffrey, I've been in communication with ESPN and ESPN Ocho, and that's a real thing. It's off on
it
dodgeball.
is. Yeah.
But I've watched the Wisconsin Auctioneers Championship. I've watched axe throwing. I've watched
the lumberjack thing is insane what they do now with the chainsaws or the axes. I mean, they're fighting right there and just hacking away. It's crazy.
I've tried, and I even knew somebody that was in charge of college game day, the college football game day. And I'm pitching like, you guys are covering lawn dart competitions during COVID because there's no sporting events. You need to come see this. And I don't know why, but we couldn't ever get them synced up. But it is absolutely the most unique sporting event that I've ever seen. I mean, we watched the Winter Olympics. Curling seemed to be on every hour of every day.
It was on every day.
And I love curling.
It was.
I am just a little background. I was almost the executive director of Team USA Curling back coming out of the Wisconsin State Fair. I talked to Team USA about being, and I knew nothing about curling other than I saw it happen at the Pettit.
Well, yeah, that's the training facility. If anybody knows,
when you're speed skating.
Yep, for speed skating, and then other ice, events.
And during the Wisconsin State Fair, when it's 90 degrees out, it was a good air conditioned place to hang out for a little bit and cool off. But anyway, so I mean, the barrel relay is absolutely something that deserves to be covered on ESPN.
Yeah, I mean,
this is what got me following the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and actually how I met Jeff. 2019, me and Sherry, we came up and met my in-laws. They came to Maker's Mark, so to pick up their barrel that they had, and so we drove up to meet them. After we left them, I forget, the barrel relay was not actually in Bardstown that year, was it?
No, it was.
Or was it?
It was. No, in 2019, it was on the behind the church on the where
St. Joseph's.
Yeah, it was on St. Joseph's School's their little area where the playground is now.
Yeah,
and then it flooded the next year.
Yeah, so then that's where, when we were driving by and I saw that, so I was like, hey, let's pull over, let's check this out. And then I found out that that's what was going on, was the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. So then when I came back home, that's when I started following the Facebook page of the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, saw pictures that Jeff posted where he was getting the painting signed by Fred and Freddie No, right? In his tux and all.
Yeah.
That's when I messaged him, and right out of the blue, and said,
introduce yourself.
Yeah, and just introduce myself and said, hey, I just happen to have a bottle of Booker's that has almost the same old serial numbers as your painting. And that's how me and Jeff got to talking.
I mean, honestly, Randy, he introduced himself, and I'm like thinking, and then all of a sudden he's like, I got that bottle of Booker's. I want to share it and come up by you. And I'm like, who's going to say no to that?
Okay.
Both our wives were like, or Sherry, he was not married yet, but my wife.
You don't know him. You're going to fly up there and say, yeah, I know him. I've talked to him for 3 months over the phone. I've shipped him bottles of whiskey that he can't get.
And then every single year after that.
You never fail to humble people, Nash. I mean, I knew you. I mean, obviously we met on, here, but
Yeah.
like the very first year for the Bourbon Festival, I opened up my front door one day, and there's that really nice Weller sitting there, and so you're a very good human being, and I always appreciate your generosity.
Well,
I owe all that to my dad in heaven. Like I say, that's the way he raised me to be.
Well, we appreciate everything, Randy.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing what you do with this festival. We can't wait this year. Now, there's going to be just quickly. You got the add-ons for the tickets. Now, anybody who got tickets, just run over what they need to do at this point.
The first couple of years we sold festival admission tickets only, and then partly because we didn't have commitments from the distillers to be able to offer like the premium education until National Bourbon Day. So the original model was May 15th, tickets on sale, April 14th or June 14th, 15th was when the secondary add-ons would be for sale. In the last couple of years, we condensed them into one sales opportunity. But what we believe, last year, a lot of the chaos around getting their admission tickets, they were putting their VIP tickets in the cart and then going back and then trying to buy their premium education, and then they go back to the cart and the cart was wiped out. So this year we said, let's just tap the brakes. Let's focus on getting people in the door first. So the last 2 days have been about admission tickets only. We've got all of the premium things ready to go. So all your cocktail culinary education. And last year we started allowing people to rent their lockers for the weekend. And this year we're offering shuttles, so people can actually buy like their daily shuttle pass on the Tixar website. And I don't know, there's something else. What else are we doing? Shirts, lockers, shuttles.
You can already rent your lockers right now. They're already on sale from the locker company.
Well, maybe, yeah. I mean, maybe. I mean, we're going to promote that through the Tixar, but I think you probably can go.
Yeah, I saw it because they had sent me an email here
because you rented one last year,
about 2 weeks ago, and that you can, and their ad actually on Facebook too was you can already get your rent your lockers for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
I hate you, Nash. I didn't get that email. There's a reason why too.
But we're going to start promoting that next Thursday and Friday. So April 23rd and 24th.
Same locker company as always. Same guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love your locker company. They are such a great. They just do such a great job.
Yeah, those guys are super.
And thank you. And they're based out of Chicago, which I won't hold against them.
I don't either.
But when I ran stadium ops for the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns, they were the locker company there. And if you're tailgating and you get up to the gate and the metal detector catches your pocket knife or whatever, and you don't want to go back to your car or hotel, there was lockers right there that you could rent for the game for like $25 or whatever, and you could put your all that stuff in your wife's purse and everything. So I kept that contact and I brought them in a couple years ago. But we've grown now to we're going to have almost 1,100 lockers available, and the VIPs this year will continue to get a complimentary locker, first come first serve. And then the other half, the inventory will be, you can reserve them, rent them for the day or for the weekend. So, but that's one of the things. So all of the add-ons, like the premium, and anybody from a general admission person up to a VIP person can go in and kind of customize a la carte their experience based on, either the presenter, you want to see so-and-so speak, or you want to like learn how to make a better cocktail or learn how to cook with bourbon. Those will all be offered, and we wanted to separate it. Let's get people's tickets, and now let's take a breath, and now we can do the add-ons later. So
or if you want to have breakfast with Dan McKee and Andrea Wilson, you can do that on Sunday.
They're phenomenal. Dan has been nothing but great. When you were talking about the Michter's experience that you guys had as a team, I will say anybody who's at the festival and you get a chance to meet Dan or Andrea, they are fantastic people. making great whiskey that like we got to do a podcast there to get to see the same thing that you did and then sent over. And then me and Roxy, when we were down going down to Florida, we met up with Dan just to have lunch at the place, and he was nothing but it was a spectacular experience. So you got them there.
Business just hanging out.
The cool thing about them, and I'm not intimidated, but sometimes I run into personalities that take me a little bit to figure out. Andrea was one of those, and I love Andrea now. But I mean, the first year it was kind of, and Steve Coombs and Andrea, I'm like, there's just, I don't think she likes me. And he's like, no. So I get into Andrea's good graces, and her husband's name is Randy, so that helps. But then Dan was another one of those where I thought first, because sometimes these master distillers can be so nerdy, they lack personality. I thought that was Dan. And then, my God, I get to know Dan. And he's hilarious and dry. The dry sense of humor. And we just had so much fun because he was throwing zingers in. But I mean, to see that side of these icons in the industry, I never not appreciate those opportunities.
Dan is the most normal guy distiller there ever was, with unbelievable there's mad respect because they know what they're doing completely, and then from the start he liked us. He came in
once he's comfortable with you and he opens up. Oh my God. It's just,
I mean, I walked in a minute late, which is my MO. If it's a 10 o'clock barrel pick, I show up at 10:01. I'm texting Stacy to say, I'm parking, I'm sorry. But I walk in and immediately he starts giving me shit. I'm like, a year ago, Dan probably wouldn't have done that, but he was like on me, and it was so fun. It was so cool to see that.
I think
they're all different like that. Fred, no. I mean, Fred is Fred, but Fred will also open up to you and kind of talk to you, behind the scenes a little bit. Freddie, Brent Elliott. I mean, there's so many of these personalities that you think one thing and then you get to know the people. And I told Denny and Jane, when I first started in this industry, Maker's Mark in my brain was okay. It was there. I knew it was a bourbon. I didn't think of it as great. I didn't think of it as not great. It was just kind of in the middle, very recognizable brand, until you get to know Denny and Jane, and then you get to know Bill and Rob, and then it's just you actually can fall in love with a brand and appreciate it more once you get to know the people that make it, and that's kind of the way I feel about this industry. Like what I knew 6 years ago and what I know now, and the people I knew, and my perception of the brands and how they've changed for the positive because I've gotten to be friends with the people that make it. It's very cool.
Well, also you're saying that it's not just because you got to know them; it's because they have changed. What you just kind of, sometimes you just sit back and you grasp, like, you think that you're not part of it, that you're covering it, but then all of a sudden they treat you like family, and you're definitely part of it, and you appreciate them, they appreciate you. But I will tell you, when you first, those years ago, Maker's Mark was very vanilla, and they're not vanilla anymore. They have evolved into one of the leaders. What they're doing with their farming techniques,
their
and
cast strength.
Their cast strength, their private selects, their cellar aged. I mean, they have evolved into the industry out of necessity of what they had to do. They've done it. The same thing what you're talking about with Macaulay, where he's gone, where Penelope has gone. I mean, it's like right now, when you think of it, you got Luxco, you got Penelope and Limestone Branch, and they're basically owned by an Indiana company. But all three of them, when they get together, they're like at a festival, they're a powerhouse. That's like a powerhouse lineup. And it's the same.
Well, the Lux family name is still there. And they told me after the sale with MGP and everything, that as long as the Lux name is there and on the door, they're still going to be who they are. And they walk that talk.
Well, we just had Danny on from Penelope, and he stayed on like you stay on, and we were just having a good time. But we knew Danny before when he was, it's just like the guy. It's like Kenny and Ryan where they are with Bourbon Pursuit. They were podcasters. Now they have Pursuit United, and as they keep going forward, but I knew them in 2020. And I know as you go through this with the people, even with Macaulay, it's just like, and then how they treat you and what they look at us. Macaulay's like, I made you, because he just says straight up, oh, there she is. All right,
Okay,
double okay. It's time.
Yeah.
That's the cue.
I've been traveling for 11 days. I feel like.
And you need to.
She was in Alcatraz last night. Now she's.
Yeah, I saw that post. Solo Alcatraz.
Did they lock you up in the solitary confinement room?
No, it was very.
Oh my gosh! When I was there, they put the group in the solitary confinement room and shut the door. You could not see your hand in front of your face. It was such a spooky, eerie place. Oh my gosh, it was an experience. Yeah.
Well, while she was been gone, I built our own little solitary confinement.
I saw it.
So.
Do you like the Nook? No. Do you like it, Kate?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I thought so.
Excited.
Awesome.
But she didn't see the feature where I can actually lock her underneath the Nook overnight to give her that whole solitary confinement.
Knowing Kate, she's probably crawling in.
Yeah. No, but anyway, so double okay.
Yes. It's good.
And that's the cue that I need to leave.
I know. It definitely is. I said to do that, and for sure. If you want to check out, you can just sign out, and then we'll finish up the podcast and invite everybody. But I think you did a great job. I love the shirt.
He hasn't even seen it yet. El Presidente and Scotchy Bourbon Boys on the sleeve.
The sleeve.
Plus Kentucky Bourbon Festival right across the chest.
Yep.
I think Carl should make us all Kentucky Bourbon Festival Scotchy Bourbon Boys shirts so that we're just a team.
I miss you guys.
And my appearance tonight was brought to you by.
Miss you too. Roxy misses you, Kate, and she can't wait to.
When will we see you?
She's gonna try and make the
June.
No, May 9th. I'm gonna see you guys.
Oh, at the.
How far away are you from? Is it Waverly?
No,
we're
we're
the Insane Asylum, right?
No, we're not. We're not going to Waverly. We're going up somewhere in Indy.
Yeah, it's the Indiana Insane Asylum for the Insane. That's what it is.
Yeah. So people who are watching, we all went and spent the night at the Ohio Reformatory, which is also known as Shawshank.
Mm-hmm.
The Shawshank Redemption. We've been in there twice, but we spent the night in there. It was amazing. And now we're going into another place that sounds like there's a lot more activity.
Are you guys booking a room that night and just? Are you guys?
You don't sleep. You go all night.
No, we're sleeping there.
Okay, you're gonna sleep there. So that's Roxy's gonna try and make it, but she has someone due on that day, so she's hoping they go early so she can come. But
we're gonna go to the area that the most crazy activity went, and I'm gonna dare the ghost to hit me up, and you can put a force field on us.
So what I'll do is instead of putting for protection, but I'm gonna do some what would you say? We'll work on making sure they come out. Ever since that time I've been working on my skills that way.
I mean, that time that I walked over you with a can of Coke and then water dripped on your head and you thought a ghost hit you?
What the shit?
What the shit?
What the shit? Yeah, right behind in the break room.
Anyway, this has nothing to do with bourbon, but
yeah. But then you'll see you'll see me and her then, and then I'm coming down in June for the thing, but I'm trying to get her. We should just plan something and do something. Because she definitely misses you guys.
That's my philosophy for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. plan something, do something.
We're
That's
gonna,
what
you know what? At the
I'll have to wait and
festival,
think.
you're gonna be doing stuff.
Do
Yes.
something, do something.
Nash,
Yeah.
cheers, buddy.
All right.
Hey,
See you,
cheers, brother.
All right.
Cheers,
It's been
Double
way,
Cheers,
it's
you
been way
guys.
too long.
I miss you.
It
I
sure
love you.
has. Can't wait to see you.
Yep. We'll finish
Is
up.
this where I'm supposed to leave, or do I hang on?
No, you can
You
leave.
can hang on if you want, but
No, it's this one. You should leave.
We have nobody even watching us.
That's
right now,
not
so.
true at all.
Oh no, we got a few people.
No, there's people watching.
Just a big shout out to New Riff Distillery. This year's is it the sponsor?
Featured distiller.
Feature
Featured
distiller.
distiller. Okay, wanted to get that right. And thanks to Randy Prasse, El Presidente, for coming on and letting everybody know about the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, 2026 Kentucky Bourbon Festival, the 35th anniversary. Correct.
That's right. Yes, sir.
We'll do.
Great things are coming, and it's going to be a great time. Thanks everybody for watching, tuning in tonight.
And look for Randy's August
Festival.
podcast too, because right before in August, usually we put one down just so he could tell everybody what he's solidified for the whole festival, because there's always
Yeah.
surprises.
Yeah.
Also,
double
everybody,
Kate is fading fast.
There you go. Good night.
also
All right,
to
thanks.
keep tuning in to the KBF website because
We'll
also
do- hey,
the
Nash,
add-ons
Nash,
are going to be coming
Nash.
up for the tickets.
Nash,
Yeah.
let him go. We can do all that stuff once he's gone.
Okay.
I don't care. I'm hanging out. I'm
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
You know me. I don't have anything planned till 11 o'clock tonight. So
Oh my god. That's so.
solitary confinement.
Oh,
Love you guys.
love you too,
Love
man.
You too, brother.
We'll see you
See ya,
soon.
man.
All right.
Bye, all.
All right.
All right.
Good
See
night.
you, man.
All right. That was cool. There we go.
It sure was. Awesome.
Yeah, the festival is going to be fantastic. I mean, for what we thought was going to happen, we just had no idea, and I think we put it all together, right?
Yeah, I think we did. And like I say, gave us a lot of information, gave everybody a lot of information and all. And
I mean, let's just to recap, the festival sold out in 2 days.
Yep.
I mean, they had everybody. It's just for future. If you've attended the festival or you sign up on their website, you get the ability to buy tickets the day before tickets go on sale. VIP and regular tickets. Who just checked in? Because I've been updating this thing and nobody's been checking in. Let's see.
Matt's just checked in and said, it's a blast. They have Rio there, Chris Thompson.
Yeah, that's usually what Matt says. He likes Rio. All right.
Hey, I like Rio.
So Kirk is he's from Montana.
You know what else I like? I like the 1792, 2024 KBF barrel pick.
Well, I will tell
Bottled
you,
and Bond.
I know I have that.
Yes, I
oh
know
my
you
God.
do,
I
too.
don't think I've opened it because it's signed, right? Hold on.
Yep. Yep. Sign right there.
Mhm. We both got that at the same time,
Yep.
didn't we?
Signed by Ross Cornelson, Master Distiller. Ta-da! There it is.
How is yours signed and mine's not?
Oh,
Was it
that's because when we got it, I picked your bottle up for you because you were out busy. I think you were with somebody else.
was
at
that
the
the
time.
foolproof?
No, it's the Bottled and Bond yellow label.
I got the Sazerac Distillers.
You got yours the same time I did. We were both standing there.
Well, it must be deeper in and signed.
Oh no! Think they sold out. That's what it was. I got mine.
The year
Then came over to the booth. Came back to the booth, and you had to wait a little bit. And when you got back, they were sold out.
No, that was the year before. Last year, when I saw him, the first booth, I went over there and bought that 1792 Sazerac Barrel Select Distiller's Roll. I've got that.
This is 2024.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm talking about 2025. You got it signed, and it's signed by Ross, isn't it? So I'm gonna make y'all jealous because Thursday, from 3 to 5, Ross is going to be at a place, and I'm going to go there and get a bottle signed by Ross.
I know whiskey, and he's bringing sweet wheat.
Oh, how do you know that?
Because whiskey told me yesterday.
All right.
He asked me if he wanted me to pick up a bottle and get it signed.
All right. Well, I'm having sweet wheat right now in honor of Ross coming, but I will say, so everybody, look for our August podcast with Randy for everything. But they sold it out in 2 days. I mean, it is becoming intense.
Just the admission tickets.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because that's what I was talking about. If everybody that has bought your admission tickets and you've got your tickets to get in the gate, you still have all your little craft experiences that have not went on sale yet, which will be going on sale in, I believe you said, a couple of weeks, right?
Or
that you can. It's the add-ons,
right?
Oh.
Yep. And I think honestly, we've been monitoring the comments, and I told Randy a little bit about that. What happened? We won't go into details, but it's just the festival is at this point like bourbon itself, right?
Matt says they're going to have sweet wheat, bottled and bond, foolproof, and single barrel.
There you go. There you go. I was hoping they'd have cognac.
Back to what you were saying.
The festival is like bourbon. It's like you can't. It's like It's like everybody doesn't get it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now the fact that the tickets sold out in 2 days. Now you can't. Now it's hard to even get tickets.
Yeah.
The actual tickets to go. So at one point it was hard to get VIP. It's hard to get VIP still. But it's now hard to get tickets. It's not like you got till August to go to see if you're going to go or whatever. You have to basically plan this out, have your stay ready to go, and then buy tickets on the first day.
We've been telling everybody this every year, starting right after the festival. You know, when we go to recapping the festival, we start telling people right then, you need to start planning right now to be ready when tickets go on sale, because they're going to sell out.
If you were lucky enough to get tickets, I mean, you're going to get picks like you would not believe.
Well, it's and people are the last couple of years are starting to realize that, and the distillers, are really stepping up their game. They're bringing those allocated bottles that everybody wants.
Not only allocated bottles, but the barrel picks specifically for the festival. Whiskey Thief, for instance. I'm going to go grab. I mean, they have some fantastic. Is this it? I think it is.
Not only that, but it's just like, out in the bourbon world, not everybody's going to be able to get a bottle, and if they were, then it wouldn't be that special.
No, and if you go there, you're going to get some good bottles. There's no doubt you'll get some.
You're not going to get every good bottle,
right?
But you're going to have to pick and choose on what you want to get in line for and get. And that's what makes it that much more special. It's just like bourbon hunting, when you find out about a release and you go get in line, or like Buffalo Trace, you don't know when you go get in that line if they're going to release like E.H. Taylor single barrels, a barrel proof, or the any of the antique collection. or like, or going like you're going to Maker's Mark. You don't know when they're going to release the like the cellar aged. You show up and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, they're releasing 200 bottles of cellar aged or something. That's the thing about it, and that's what.
Randy, he's back on. What just happened?
What's up?
What the shit? What the shit?
Yeah. Everybody, cheers. We have El Presidente.
I went upstairs to make sure everybody's in bed,
and she's just exhausted, so she's hitting the hay.
Oh, she had to leave for the airport 4:00 Pacific time.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
are you wrapping up?
Well, we can wrap up, but do you want us to throw it out to the people?
What out?
Our good listeners to join us, like
No.
Okay.
No, I'm supposed to be going to bed here too.
Okay. Well,
I just wanted to see what happened if I clicked on the link and you're still here.
I would just say, what the shit?
What the shit?
Yeah, we were just talking about the barrel picks.
Just going over about some of the barrel picks and things like that people are going to be able to get and then or not get, and like having to pick and choose, and how we started throwing this out there. It's like we were just talking about. It's like we start telling people when we start doing a recap of the festival. The week after the festival's over.
Yeah. And
we'll go and we'll have a podcast and we'll start doing a recap and like talking about the bottles that we got.
Whoa, what?
Like that.
That's an old one.
Yeah, because that's the cool thing. Like every year you can revisit.
That's what I started out with tonight.
There you go.
Same year.
I wish the first year of the rabbit hole, I wish I would have gotten that whole set. I only got 2 of them.
Gosh. This has opened up so good. It's just like a caramel bomb and a little bit of apple. It's like drinking a caramel apple.
Do you have that collection just for Kentucky Bourbon Festival just kind of stored where you like kept the bottle of all the barrel picks and stuff like that?
My office.
Yeah,
office in Bardstown, that big shelf in the corner has got one of everything we've done back to the first Maker's Mark.
Right, and you're not going to drink it. It's just part of, at one point that,
It's our history.
Yeah, and the history is, people don't realize how much everything in Bardstown has been upgraded. I mean, since we've been doing this, when you think about this, you think about the tasting rooms, you think about the museum, the Brendiamo penthouse, you think about, all the different places, and everything's being updated. And yes, the distilleries help update everything, but that's kind of what you're trying to do.
And Jeffrey, to that point, whatever you want to call it, I think the sky is falling, the whole bourbon bust myth that's being propagated out there is false. I think 2019 bourbon was doing this. The COVID spike you have to account for, but yet the re-leveling is up here. You're still much higher than you were pre-COVID.
Oh yeah.
But so distilleries may not be rebuilding and adding on and building new and building rick houses like they were, but the bourbon experience, they're still investing in the restaurants and the tasting rooms and the gift shops. So there's more of that going on right now than ever before. So
but think about it, Randy.
Still investing in the experience,
Randy. So they build all these rick houses, and Heaven Hill is the classic. That's
great.
The amount of rick houses that went in. Okay, and now they got to a point where the stuff is aging in there. Okay, but we got to here. But now the demand, they're meeting. I mean, Buffalo Trace is meeting the demand. Heaven Hill is starting to meet the demand. When you go to those releases, unless it's a 18 or 20 year, you know what I mean? Those releases have, but at one point they will catch up. But what's happening is they have all these rick houses. Just because they're not building more doesn't mean that they're not emptying this rick house and refilling that rick house again. Yes. And so yes, some of the production, like at Jim Beam, they've cut the one distillery production. but they had shut down Boston, and it wasn't even a big deal to revamp that distillery and remodel it and everything. And now,
that's the norm.
Yes.
The industry for 50 years would have summer shutdowns, month, 6 weeks, 2 months, because they needed to do maintenance, painting, upgrading. And during the boom, they couldn't afford
do it.
that. And now a lot of, and I hate that Beam is getting all of this attention in the media because, shutting down. Well, no, I mean, they're finally able to shut it down and update, the fire suppression and all the, and do cleaning and upgrading. And because, I mean, last week we did a barrel pick at 1792 and Ross was there, but Danny Kahn came in and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got talking about what Buffalo Trace is doing over there. And they doubled their capacity in the last couple of years. They're not slowing down. I mean, they're
Buffalo Trace. The demand for Buffalo Trace is not slowed down. Now, but
I mean, when I first moved here, I could buy a bottle of Buffalo Trace for $24, and then up to $28, and then and all of a sudden Buffalo Trace becomes allocated. So it was $32, it was $38 if you could find it. Now it's back to being available. Weller's back on the shelves. E.H. Taylor's back on the shelves. Blanton's is back on the shelves. But when you go to buy at the store, you used to scan your driver's license and you're out for 90 days. Now you're out for a day. They scan you for 1 day and you can go back tomorrow and buy. So it's adjusting to where finally the consumer gets a chance to win.
Right. That's not a bad thing. And then when you think of Heaven Hill, they were making the volume of Jim Beam and then the volume of Heaven Hill behind it, or the volume of Maker's Mark. Buffalo Trace was a craft distiller. Harlan would tell you they were a craft distiller when he started. They don't have the capacity that when you see what they're doing, it's not the same capacity, even doubled, that Buffalo Trace but what Beam is doing and what Heaven Hill is doing. And then Heaven Hill built another distillery in Bardstown. And their Louisville distillery goes nuts. Plus they have the little craft distillery at the Evan Williams. So it makes sense that they're all leveling off. They have enough and it's got to age. And it's not like they're not selling what they have to sell. They just don't need to make all that much more.
The best is ahead. Because I said, Danny, hey, Buffalo Trace could single-handedly ruin the bourbon market by just flooding it, just releasing everything. I believe. That's my opinion.
Oh, yeah, then people wouldn't want it because they could get it.
The allocation is part of the mystique that keeps the industry going. And if they Sazerac wanted to just release stuff, they could ruin the market, but they won't. Just like Beam could do the same thing. But no, I think at this point, consumers are happy. I'm a consumer. I go in like $24, $26 Buffalo Trace or a $26 or $28 Makers. I love that because a year and a half, 2 years ago, it was all in the high 30s, low 40s. And it's normalizing. It's all good.
It's what it should be.
Anyway, I am going to run now. I just wanted to pop in and see if you two morons were still sitting here talking.
We were still talking.
Yeah.
All right. I love you guys.
Hell yeah.
Love you too, brother.
Love you too, brother.
All right, have a good night.
All right, good night.
Thank you. Always thank you.
All right, man.
Good night. Wow. What the shit?
That's awesome.
All right. So let me finish it up. Let's just finish this up right now. We're reviewing, and then we'll bring some people on for a little bit till about 10:30, and then I got to go. I know you got to go too, Super Nash, but we kind of owe it to everybody to let them come on, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So everybody, www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys, merchandise, Glencairns, everything. Look at that. Check that out.
Absolutely.
And then our shout out to our sponsors, Middle West Spirits in Columbus, Ohio, Whiskey Thief
Distilling
in Frankfurt, and the New Louisville area, and the Spirit of French Lick
in
French Lick,
Indiana,
or West Baden. And then as Jolie would say, and then thanks, Alan Bishop, for all your sponsorship and everything, and we look forward to you catching back up to Randy Prasse on the, it's Randy, Greg, and Alan just fighting it out as far as our guests for the most time appearing on the Scotchy Bourbon Boys over the years. And
don't forget Old Louisville Whiskey Company.
no, they're not anymore. Amin has decided to take a pause, but you can do a shout out to the Old Louisville Whiskey Company because they're just awesome.
So the Amin Carr, Old Louisville Whiskey Company, always will be our good friend and was a sponsor of us for a while. If you ever get a chance, get down to Louisville, Kentucky, and check them out.
Yep.
He's got some good stuff going on. And we always like to give a shout out to him anyway.
Yep. And then also remember, good bourbon equals good times and good friends.
Good friends. Yep. Drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And go out
and live your life uncut and unfiltered. And let's let this get rock and rolling right here. Boom. We had somebody on YouTube from Istanbul, Turkey.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers to that. Up some rising boots on the floor and not all day till you work no more. Life goes on, but the choice is yours. How you play it out when you walk through that door. So you show the pour, I'll show the drinks. See, yeah. We'll taste through the whiskey on the rocks or neat.
Or neat. That's right.
Bourbon Scotch or a good old ride. Japanese, I will tell you why. Near or far, tune in with us from your home or your car. One bottle, one drink, one pour. You're the pour, man.
The pour right there.
You've been looking for, yeah. All right. All right, I'm gonna get that sucker moving. Image quality. Tiny here to tell you about Whiskey Thief Distilling Company and their newly opened tasting room. Whether you are up for a farm-to-glass distilling experience on the Three Boys Farm in Frankfort, Kentucky, or an out-of-this-world tasting experience in Nulu, you won't be disappointed. At both locations, their barrel picks all day, every day, are like none other. Each location features stations with 5 barrels, each featuring their pot-distilled bourbons and ryes. Once the barrels have been thieved and tasted, you can make a selection and thieve your own bottle. A day at Whiskey Thief with their friendly staff and ownership will ensure you many good times with good friends and family. Remember to always drink responsibly, never drink and drive, and live your life uncut and unfiltered.
On the floor, working hard all day till you can't no more. Life rolls on, but the choice is yours. How you play it out when you walk through that door. One bottle, one drink, one pour. That's what the Scotchy Bourbon Boys got in store. Tuesdays, Thursdays, come pull up a seat. We'll taste through the whiskey on the rocks and eat.